What's up? What's up? What's up? So today we're going to be going over the gold trade, and then well, not necessarily gold trade, but the gold movement that happened throughout the market today. We'll be starting with the trading opening day of July the 30th and transitioning into the 31st. There were a lot of opportunities here in the market today, even on the sell side as well as the buy side. So if you knew what you were doing, you were able to capitalize on both. So let's get into it. I'm going to be analyzing from the 1 hour time frame, and I'm going to kind of just give an overview, and then I'll go back on the 15 and on a lower time frame and actually break down how to enter and analyze those entries. So let's like I said, let's start from the beginning of the trading day of the July 30th. And as you can see, we were in some type of bullish momentum still coming on. I'm also going to add on the MACD as well. Starting with the trading of this day, right? So as we continue on, right? Continue on. The first thing that catches my eye is this general area right here. Reason it catches my eye for two things. One, it broke this previous structure points that was already instituted into the market. So what do I mean by that? If I were to draw a line from this low to this low and then extend it outwards, look at how price is reacting as soon as it breaks those lines. Okay, as soon as price broke those lines, notice how it retested back up and they gave a continuation. So that was the first reason. The second reason is if you look at right here on my MACD, this is a MACD cross. Whenever this cross happens, it's usually a shift of momentum. Whenever price on MACD actually crosses the histogram, this is a shift of the trend. So this is a momentum shift and this is a trend shift. So right here with our first momentum shift, price, like I said, broke these two structure points and is now attempting to break lower. But the buyers are not going to just give up without no fight. So as the sellers took over, right, the buyers tried to get one last fight and then continued on to the downside. So as we now have these next 1, 2, 3, 4 straight hours of bearish engulfing, we next start to see the buyers, all right, they start to come back. They start to put up next in a fight. And like I said, when we get a break of the MACD histogram, that means that there is a trend shift. So you can see the buyers are trying to hold the trend. This is the last of it. And if you see right here, you get a rejection back up before the downside. And how I was able to look at this rejection, I started myself from this last structure point right here, which was where the momentum shift happened. And I took the fib, and all I did was follow price down to this low right here, and I extended it out. Now notice how when I extended it out, we have a nice little 618 sweet spot off of the fib rejection. If you want to even be more specific, it even kind of reached up there into the 71%. So as price rejected from this area and then engulfed down, I want you to notice how this bearish engulfing engulfed down. If you look right here, these wicks where the buyers are still trying to gain control, what's pretty much happening is price is being trapped. They're being trapped by the buyers and they're being trapped by the sellers. So when they're trapped on these both sides, right, price is fighting, right? You got the drop and this price is fighting. They're on an hourly candlestick. So this is around 6 hours of time fighting. When price finally broke up to the upside and got the rejection, you have a bearish engulfing. So this is the sellers finally winning. They finally win after all of this fight. And then notice the market goes back to the upside. So what exactly happened? I see it as this bearish engulfing was a liquidity raid of all of the property that was sitting right here. Everybody that has their stop losses, they liquidated themselves into the market and then mitigated themselves off this last buyer's position from right here, from where they continued their last up move. They just sold off the buyback again, right? Some of us may know this as a turtle soup, or any of you institutional price action traders. So notice how after price mitigated themselves in, price literally has nothing but bullish candlesticks up until like 1 hour ago, and it's this one bearish candlestick that just printed. But other than that, the momentum and trend just completely shifted. Right here, you can see around 1600 hours where we got a signal cross, which the momentum is beginning to pick up. And then right here, you can see some type of fight happen right here where price is beginning to break through the histogram. Like I said, whenever you break through the histogram, new structure is being broken. So ultimately, price is trying to break the previous highs that are right here. So if we can get some closure above this line right here, representing the last structure point where price was at, then I can ultimately like to see price moving up to the upside, as you can see price currently reacting right now. So that was my overall like just jitter, I guess you can say, analysis off the 1 hour. But now I'm gonna actually give my entries on how I would have been able to capitalize in this market. So I'm gonna go down to the 15-minute, and I'm also gonna add some EMAs on my screen. I like to use the 50, 100, and 200 EMA. Again, the 50, 100, and 200 EMA. My 50 EMA is my black line. My purple EMA is my 100, and my orange one is my 200. So my solid is my black line. And as well, I like to have the alligator as well. The alligator lets me be able to see the momentum along with the MACD. So I'm going to actually rewind this back this time and take us back candlestick by candlestick. So once again, we're going to start at the beginning of the trading day of July the 30th, okay? So as we start there, okay, remember right here where the 1 hour where price was acting kind of weird. Well, it was a 1 hour signal cross. But notice right here in the 15-minute, the signal cross is already happening. So what does that mean? Again, the momentum is now beginning to change. And why is that? Is because, you know, price is breaking these previous structure points right here. So as price continues to fight to the lower side, notice how when price tries to close beneath my red alligator, that is another type of momentum shift because this is another type of trend. It's just a tighter trend. So that's why there's these candlesticks are so small because price is fighting so tightly. And as price finally tries to break, notice how it's also trying to break my 50 EMA as well. My 50 EMA it looks like it's playing off this previous structure point right here. So let's watch how price reacts, okay? It breaks this red line, which is the two big structure points where price was trying to hold on to. Okay, big win for the sellers. Notice how we're breaking through the histogram, right? So the momentum, the trend is now being shifted from the earlier momentum cross. So as the trend is slowly being shifted, I think the buyers get one last pullback, right? One last pullback. Remember, I got this fib rejection from this structure point down to this structure point, the high to the low. And notice how price reacted beautifully off of this 71 and 618. Now, how I would have capitalized was the first thing I would have been looking for is two rejection candles happening out of my fib zone. After we got these two, even three candles out of my fib rejection zone, I'm not entering into the market because notice how we're not fully even beneath the histogram. We're still kind of in there. If anything, we're really close. So the last thing I would need is for price to close beneath the 50 moving average. Usually I like the candlestick, the whole candlestick to close, but that doesn't always happen as a pretty perfect picture as of this right here. So you notice that price does breach the 50 EMA, but it doesn't close below. Actually, it even engulfs itself back. This is another type of pullback. So I have this red line stated right here, which is at the closure of this, let me hide my EMAs, which is at the closure of this candlestick right here. So once the price goes and closes beneath 1963 500, I could be looking to enter into the market, in which it does. So it broke, retested, and I caught the next break. Now this black box right here underlines where price broke the 50 EMA and retested and continued as well. So notice how price came down with this trend, retested, got mitigated back here in the 618 up even to the 718, 71%, and then rejected back down. Now right here are these first candlesticks that close beneath the 50. This is the real start of where sellers are now in control, and the momentum and trend is now being fully shifted. And now you can see sellers are really in momentum, and the candlesticks start to get lower, and price starts to move a lot faster. So as we continue to go, right, notice how price even set itself up. This was a late Asian session trade following into a London. Now notice how we have this slight early London pullback. If any of you know about the times, you will see that right before 3 a.m. there was a slight pullback, and then at 3 a.m. boom, instant liquidity being pumped into the market. This purple box institutes where price came and broke my 100 moving average, which is representing the structure that's over here. Okay, price broke this structure, retested back up, and then gave you three bearish engulfings. Heavy price action. Signal to be entering for sales. Sales are in power. Okay, these two candlesticks are the first two to close me for 100, which is another type of entry for myself. Price has been heavy heavy in by the sellers. Now, look what happens now. As we get below the histogram, we're now in a trend and momentum, completely seller shift. And like I said, notice how exactly when they were about to really start taking control, buyers came back out of nowhere and just started taking off. Okay, this is that turtle soup that's playing. Oh wait, I may be mistaken. I believe I spoke too early. Yeah, I spoke too early. Okay, price pulled back up one last time. And I have this line represented right here because if you notice, we have this black line where price broke the 50, purple where it broke the 100. So these two previous structure levels. Notice I have 3 EMAs. I still have my orange one. Price still has to break my orange 200 EMA, which is this structure point over here. Price tries to close us beneath, but it doesn't fully close beneath. It actually closes, gets engulfed, closes again, gets engulfed. So this is a double top on some type of time frame. So I have this red line instituted that when price closes beneath there, I could be looking for shorts. Okay, but notice right here, we now have a MACD cross to the bullish side. So I know I can be expecting some bullishness to start. And let's see what happens. Okay, if you notice, price slightly pulled back up one last time, dropped again, and then gets rejected. Not one more time. But notice this last time, when price drops and comes back up, okay, it's giving you a fake out. This was that nice fib that I had put on earlier. I even draw it again for you. I'm starting from this structure point, and I'm following price all the way down to this low, and I'm going to extend it out. And notice, like I said, price gave you this nice 618 sweet money spot. Beautiful, beautiful price action, beautiful rejection. And like I said, if you knew what you're doing, you would have been able to capitalize. So I would have taken a 618 position sell right here, but I would have waiting for structure to break this right here. And as you can see, price broke the structure, and this solid red line institutes the candle that closed beneath my IPO. Price continues. Now, after price finally got in control by the sellers, like I said, it gets rejected. This is pretty interesting because, like I said, this is the turtle soup. Price liquidated itself into the position and then moved forward. So as price continues to completely just shift completely, notice how fast the buyers are now in control. It took the sellers all of this time to do this, and buyers are just taking over. This is letting you know what the real trend is. Remember, this was all a reverse trade. You were just able to capitalize on what you're doing, but now we're moving back into how price is rolling. This big bullish move where price has been moving for months now. And notice how price is starting to make these structure levels. So after we have our MACD, where the momentum is picked up, price is now trying to break this structure point. It's trying to break this structure point that it literally just sold off from. And it made this high, rejected. To be specific, it broke my 50 and 200 EMA, rejected. So this blue line right here represents this high from this last candle right here at 1954, rejected, broke 1954, made 1954 into a support / force, supply zone, whatever you like to say. Now as price is trapping itself, price then breaks down lower, finds supply off my 50 moving average. My trend alligator mouth is now open. We are now above the histogram. So now we got momentum, trend, more trend, right? Buyers are in heavy comeback and control. And these yellow boxes like to represent my entry. This is my first entry candle representation where I know I should be into the market, because price has broken 1, 2 structures and now a third structure. But like I said, I'm a break and retest structure trader. So I would like a retest if I could get one. And what does price do? It comes and gives me a retest. It gives me my retest, and boom, now I get 3 beautiful engulfing candlesticks. My first and my second point of interest, and price continues to move on to the upside. So now, as price is moving forward, my last entry zone would be down here in 1955. Price is now 10 points up at 1966. Okay, continuing 1968, floating and floating. Now price is, even at this current moment, moving up in price. So I am bullish on gold as of now. And this is how I would have entered into the market, like so. So my targets for gold at the moment, I I honestly don't know because we are in a very volatile market and very new high times in price where we haven't been before. So we have to, I say, wait for break and retest. That's the type of trader I am. Notice how price is just now breaking this structure of interest that we were looking for. So now we could be looking for longs up in here. Look how strong price is moving. Beautiful action, beautiful price action. I would ultimately like to see price close above this zone here and maybe find some type of resistance so we can find a new structure level. I would ultimately, though, like to see if price can make some structure up here to see if we can move to the upside even more, which would be not surprising to me, but very interesting to see, or if we can start to get some bearish rejection. By the way of it, this big candlestick down right here and these slow candlestick down right here is showing me that there is seller power in here. But we can expect to not even have to worry about seeing that until I'm not a trend line trader, my guys. I only like drawing two-touch trends to institute where the momentum and trend is. So we really would have to see price either come up, retest, find some type of structure, and then move on to the upside, which is preferably what I would like to see, or price to come down, do some type of wickedness like this. So ultimately, it's up to the market to do its thing. It's up to us to react and to profit from that reaction. Thank you guys for your time and enjoy your day. Peace.